Do you need to be fired or do you need to quit in order to start your own business? I'm Cedric Muhammad, CEO of the Hip-Hoppreneur. That's our subject as we turn the camera on. I want to talk about that for three reasons. One, I want to learn something about yourself, ourselves, rather than take an outward looking position. Knowing whether you need to quit or be let go is a very important aspect to learning what it is you truly want. And without that knowledge, knowing what another person wants is difficult or irrelevant. Secondly, I think this question holds a key to answering the question that's been elusive to so many people who focus just on money, the lack of capital. Why do so many small businesses fail? Fail to survive their first year, fail to survive their fifth year, or fail to attract more than a single paid employee. A statistic on that will be forthcoming that may surprise you. And then lastly, thirdly, this will help us to know how to do business with someone who has been fired or quit, and learning how to partner with people and adding them to your team. And at the Hip-Hoppreneur, you all know we outlined the 9 personality types in business, which many people have said has really helped them to decide who they need to partner with and work with next. Now, this is all coming from painful experiences, mistakes, ignorance on my part, as well as what I've learned from others and studied of best practices. So this is the school of hard knocks. So first, want to learn something about yourself. Learning whether you're internally motivated or externally motivated is important, but one of the real life laboratories or situations that brings that out is if you've ever been fired, or if you have been so dissatisfied in a situation that you decided to go out on your own and found out how difficult that truly was. So the question I ask people, and ask yourself, and then we want to have a conversation about this at the Hip-Hoppreneur's social media platforms: are you freeing yourself, or are you just fleeing from someone else? Most people that I hear, clients I work with, consumers and customers of our product, they're really fleeing a bad situation. And so they're focused on grievance, and when their grievance is not addressed, they focus on some form of an adaptation, adjust, become a little bit of an entrepreneur in a bad situation, and then they become an outrepreneur, which is they innovate, so they think, in leaving the business. And all 3 stages of that can be deceptive internally. Self-deception I'm talking about. Because there's a difference between leaving someone else's framework and then transitioning because you have your own framework. And most people that have a problem operating within a system have issues with risk-taking or loving a process in their own system. So you really don't leave. You leave physically, but you don't leave mentally. And so that's why I have learned, and I have, worked with people on this issue. When you partner with someone who has left something, they're enthused, they're full of the spirit of wanting something different, but they have not fully committed to cut the umbilical cord to what they just left mentally and emotionally. And so I'm sure many of you will be able to bear witness with me that you've done business with people who've gone right back to another job opportunity because deep down, they never rid themselves of that mentality and that emotional attachment, the reliance on status, a reliable salary. It's very hard to leave something that's comfortable or familiar for something that's unknown. So, knowing whether you need to be fired or whether you need to quit in order to start your own business, and in a sense it's a false choice, but I think it's a great place to start, because really sometimes neither one of those works. Neither one of those works. We're going to talk a lot more in the future about women entrepreneurs who are opportunity driven and necessity driven. That's that's where you're going to see a lot of the growth over the next decade. It'll be among women entrepreneurs, not just in America, but around the world. So, as it relates to why small businesses don't grow, survive their first year, here's some statistics. There's 31 million small businesses in the United States. 81% of them have no employees. 19% of them have at least one paid employee. I know in Black America, the number is 90% of businesses have no employees, and that's 2.6 million Black-owned businesses that are considered small businesses. As many businesses die as are born, generally speaking, on an annual basis. So if you want to look at one of the key statistics on whether entrepreneurship is expanding and growing, you need to look at how many closures and startups or births and deaths there are in small business. As of 2016, and I have numbers for 2018 that we will get into at another session, a startup firm, one that's less than 1 year old, there were 400,000 closures or deaths for every 433,000 startups or births. So most people will say, oh, access to capital is the number one problem as to why a business doesn't grow. I don't have a problem with that. Money, supposedly is the root of so many things wrong. But I think the bigger issue is the difficulty we as entrepreneurs, small business owners have in partnering with someone that we understand how to incentivize and motivate them. So most professionals, and out of the 9 personality types, I find them to be the most challenging to read. Engineers as well. Entrepreneurs are a mess. Like the idiosyncrasies of an entrepreneur are crazy. But we'll talk about that later. But most professionals want security. They don't. It takes a lot for a very well-trained, highly successful entrepreneur to lose that memory, that comfort and that familiarity, to take no salary or to take a promise of something in the future. Again, risk-taking, process and system a professional pretty much will respect. A lot of them rely on talent though. And that's one of the I don't like to use the word deception because it's not like it's intentional, but a professional can be hard to read because they can be so talented. But if that talent can't become a system, then you are going to have a hard time growing the business and eventually selling it. Big subject. But for the most part, status, the power of association, title, and money are what keep a professional, give them peace of mind. So most entrepreneurs can't offer that beyond an initial few months. So when you're partnering with someone, sometimes the salesperson mentality or personality is better suited for where you are. Most of the entrepreneurs and business people that I know have been able to get a salesperson with them and an ideologue quicker than really a professional in pocket. So again, we're just talking about personality types. Do you need to be fired or quit in order to start your own business? Want to hear your best anecdotes, your best stories? Some of these are hilarious, and we have to laugh at ourselves or else we cry. And there have been a lot of tears shed in the world of entrepreneurship and small business owners. Cedric Muhammad, CEO of the Hip-Hoppreneur, just had to turn the camera on to discuss that. Want to hear back from you. Again, visit our website, thehiphoppreneur.com. A lot of new services coming online for small business owners who we see as artists, and we believe that's an underserved aspect of the business mentality, the artistry that's involved, the intuition, the epiphanies, how to really balance that with the nuts and bolts, material elements of the science of business. So I'm turning the camera off, but I want to hear from you. Till next time, peace.